You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh,
you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it.
Yo, Buckeye Boys! This is the Buckeye Boys show, the true podcast for the fans, by the fans. I am Sean Schrock, and I'm here with our girl, TG. What up, TG?
What up, Sean? What up, everybody in Buckeye Nation? Buckeye Boys. I see all y'all in the chat. Sean, Steely, I saw you, Melo. What up, Emily? Hey.
Taco Ken, our boy Vader, Sean Rollins, Raw Dog, proud to have you here. Our Ryan Day's Beard. Guys, we are 24 hours away
Terrace,
from
Washington.
Natty. 24 hours away, TG. 24 hours.
I can't wait. Can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm not going to lie. I respect Notre Dame. And I see where everybody comes from regarding comparing them to the 2002 Buckeyes team, because they are a lot like it. You can see it. Where the problem is this Ohio State team's not that 2002 Miami team. I can see from a talent standpoint they are, but that Miami team didn't go through the adversity this team went through. Not even close. And they wish they did.
I mean, they lost one game.
Trust me, they wish they did.
I mean, one game in 3 years that they lost. I mean, that team was NFL stacked. I mean, I even think it had more NFL first rounders than this Ohio State team does this year, honestly.
Oh, they do have more first rounders. That's what's so funny too, because I do think Ohio State has a lot of first rounders on this team, but that Miami team had more.
I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, with everybody, I did not think the 2002 team was going to beat Miami. I went into it, I was happy just to watch my team get to a natty. And if they won, it was icing, just a little cherry on top of the sundae. But, man, I was pleasantly surprised. And, I mean, to this day, that team will always be my favorite Buckeye team.
Yeah, how was your reaction? Exactly. Like, how do you remember yourself being when they won?
I was jumping up and down screaming. I mean, I was down in Columbus, actually. My friend lives down there. And I went down to hang with him. And we were spending the weekend was a big Ohio weekend, because a lot of people don't remember that for sports wise, because it was Ohio State and Miami and the Natty. Then Cleveland was playing Pittsburgh in the playoffs for football for that weekend, and the Browns choked it away, but that's okay. The Buckeyes saved the weekend by pulling off the biggest upset in probably sports history, if you ask me, and college football wise.
That's what the Browns do.
That's what the Browns. Yep.
The Browns do.
Now, we're supposed to have Melo coming from the Pep Rally today.
Yeah, they're giving themselves that reputation.
I mean, they are the king of heartbreaks. I mean, honestly.
I think he'll come on at some point. I mean, he's in the chat, so he'll happen.
There was on Mr. Green. Thank you, Mr. Bucknuts. I saw someone gifted some membership, so we thank you, Karis and Beth.
Yeah,
wonderful people.
Ryan Day's Beard did.
Ryan Day's Beard, man, you guys are the best.
Yeah, this is the great group of fans. What was funny is we were talking about it earlier about Michigan and their kind of what we know is going to happen basically after the national title. Because for people who think that nothing's going to happen, trust me, it is. No matter what these dim-witted fans tell you. As a matter of fact, what's funny is these Michigan fans, they are miserable just because the two teams they hate the most are in the Natty. Imagine being the Wolverines right now. And what's worse is if your arch rivals, especially Ohio State, wins it, no one could question the Natty. Nope. No one could question you. No one there's no asterisks, there's no nothing. They won it legitimately, and they did it better than your team did. And guess what? Your team has that cheating scandal next to it, to a point where it's like, man, imagine the type of agony they're going to be going through when this is all over.
You know what's great about this team though is everybody wants to throw out the whole they bought a championship. There's 3 players on that team that that were not developed by Ryan Day and this coaching staff. So that's Will Howard, that's Igmanosa, and that's Caleb Downs. Other than that, all the other starters were coming from a freshman on to play here. So I mean, we have developed a championship roster. So I mean, you can throw Quinshawn in there, but he's not a starter, But other than that, 4 guys that play a lot.
Because like Quinshawn will start one drive, and then Trey will start another. And sometimes it just flops in between games. So he's not a starter, but I would say he's kind of like him and Trey are both starters. They just start at different points.
That's true. Now I got a question for you, TG.
But also
Sorry to go ahead. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, I was about to say the whole bought the championship. I'm like, it was such a dumb narrative because the ones saying this are guys from the SEC because they mad we took a lot of their players. Tywone Malone, David Benosin, Quinshawn Judkins, Caleb Downs. And here's the funny thing. Caleb Downs, he told everybody the reason he went to the SEC was solely to learn from Nick Saban. Like, he really wanted to go to Ohio State. He did. I don't consider him a player that Ohio State didn't develop because he wanted to come here. He just chose to learn under Nick Saban, which who wouldn't? Yeah. I mean, for as much as I could get on him for buying some of his players, at the end of the day, he still is a developed type of coach. He will develop you. He's got a track record of doing it. So I think Caleb has always been a Buckeye. He just chose to go to the Crimson Tide for Saban.
I mean, Saban is the GOAT. I can't blame anybody for going there. And I mean, if we look, Saban did.
Oh, you can't blame Ohio State.
Saban developed. He was an assistant coach.
And that's what's so funny. That's what's so funny is y'all talk about y'all right off the coattails of Saban, but y'all tend to forget he coached at Ohio State. He coached even at Michigan State before going to the SEC. So y'all kind of riding the coattails of a former Big Ten coach from the very program that y'all despise.
What's great, and a lot of people don't give this guy a lot of credit, but Earl Bruce, if you look at his assistant coaches and his coaching tree, I think might be the best coaching tree out of any college coach to ever coach because he had Jim Tressel.
It might be the greatest.
Yeah. I mean, he had Jim Tressel. He had Pete Carroll, Nick Saban, Urban Meyer. I mean, all those coaches have won, not one, but multiple national championships. I mean, name me another
Pete Carroll won a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, just look at how many coaches have won that. I mean, show me another coach that had that many guys.
All of them are among the all-time wins coaches. They've won the most championships. They've won the most in their conferences. And they have the highest win percentage of all coaches, where the coaches that have higher than are 2 from under Urban and Nick Saban. Yep. Think about that. That coaching tree, the bigger it gets from under those guys, the bigger it expands Earl Bruce's coaching tree. Imagine.
I mean, look at Saban's coaching tree. His coaching tree hasn't been that great.
You will never see another coaching tree like that again.
No, I mean, honestly, Pete Carroll won how many natties in the Super Bowl?
I mean, it's good, but it's like,
still, to win a natty and to go into the NFL, because a lot of times coaches don't have that success leaving college to go to the pros. So he won a natty and a Super Bowl. Tressel won a natty at Ohio State, the multiple at Youngstown State, a lower division, but he still won multiple championships. Nick Saban, who's considered the GOAT, he's won, 5? Is it 5 national championships, if I'm not mistaken? 7. My bad. 7, yeah. So, I mean, and then you got Urban, who won 3. I mean, come on. Show me nobody else can top that or compare to it, man.
I mean, he made Alabama a dynasty. Like, we're thinking of the 5 that he won at Bama, but he won 2 more at, I think, LSU.
He won one at LSU.
I could be. Yeah, he won one at LSU. He might have actually won 6 at Alabama.
He had Alabama. I mean, not Alabama, but he had Michigan State turnaround. People forget about that. I mean, he had Michigan State going in the right direction, and so many people were upset that he dashed to LSU for the money, but hey, you do what you got, do what you got to do, I guess. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he could have stayed up at Michigan State for longer, and who knows what would have, been the narrative and what that program would have done.
Dude,
So,
imagine Ohio State and Michigan State as the top two in the conference.
I mean, hey, D'Antonio had him going
Right
for a while.
there.
They were, they played good ball for a while. I mean,
They made it to the playoffs.
yeah. I mean, they won a couple Big Ten titles, and he was beating Michigan on the regular, and he did it with he had that he would take those kids from Ohio that Ohio State wouldn't give, and he would pick those kids up and bring them up to Michigan State and coach those kids up. I mean, those kids were 3 stars, and it took a little bit of time to develop, but they were great football players, and he would take the time to develop them, and that's why you'd see Michigan State have a 2 or 3 year run where they would be good.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. These guys, they were something else. I said it. I was hoping Michigan State would stay afloat because I'm not gonna lie, I like them. I like them. I have no problems with them. I mean, we both hate Michigan.
Yeah.
And we all know how big of scumbags they are. So I like Michigan State. I thought they were gonna be fun, and then they just fell off. It was so unfortunate. I'm like, bad coaching decisions, if we're being honest.
Well, I think they got a good coach. I think they got the right coach in now. Melo!
Oh,
Am I on the stage already?
Yeah.
What up, Melo?
What's good? You guys weren't supposed to put me on the stage yet, but I'm good. I'm down here at the Congressional Center. They're about the band's about to come through. I got to turn my camera around for when they come through. Can y'all take me off stage real quick? For bring me back on in 5 minutes.
Can you do that? I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, some of you might not know, but Melo's live at the Pep Rally down there.
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, it looks like it's. I've seen a Pep Rally. I'm not gonna lie, like on the news stuff, it's actually pretty lit. I'm like, ooh, I almost wish I was down there in person, but it's like, I don't know if because I ain't got the money to be going down there. So,
see, I was talking to a couple people off camera about this, a couple like Steely, and we were talking about, how do you like to watch the game? I'm like, I don't like watching in big groups of people. I like to watch it by myself so I can hear what the announcers are saying. If you're in a big group of people, sometimes you got people there that really don't care about the game and they're talking about stuff that has nothing to do with it. It just drives me crazy. So I'm honed in on the game. Maybe I'll text one of my friends every now and then during a break, but I like to concentrate on the game. I don't like to be in big crowds unless I'm at the game. How do you like to watch it?
Yeah,
TG?
unless I'm at the game, I don't like being around big crowds. I like watching it. I'm not gonna lie, I do like watching it for TV, but I have been a part of games with a crowd, and it's so freaking electric. It just is. But I like it from my TV just because it's like, man, I get to hear the announcers and what they're saying. I get to hear them break down plays. I get to hear because I like that, to be honest.
Yeah. Don't blame me.
I like learning.
I'm the same way.
And guess what? As a kid, I hated going to school, but I like learning.
See, I hated school too, except if it was a,
Oh yeah, that's actually one of the
subject I liked. But
I mean, I'll say this: I hated school for a variety of. I hated school for a variety of reasons. It's not because I didn't want to learn or anything, but it's for some other reason. Trust me, I hate it.
Melo.
I'm trying to figure out how to turn my camera around. Oh, I know how to do it. So that way everybody can see when the band comes in.
What's the atmosphere like down there, bro?
I'm about to show you. Can you guys see?
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The band's gonna come in right here. Though.
Oh my
That's
God!
why
There's a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a ton of people, and this place is huge.
Oh, that's awesome.
See anybody down there you know yet?
Yeah.
Nah.
I wonder how's it feeling down there.
It's cold, but it's definitely.
How's it?
Buckeye,
so how's the atmosphere?
Buckeye heavy. Great. It's Buckeye heavy. There's a lot of Irish here, but I mean, Atlanta is one of the. Atlanta is like one of the biggest Ohio State alumni base in the country. So Like I said, I expect the crowd to be 60-40 Buckeyes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's me. To be honest with
Ooh,
you,
I
I've been
didn't know
down there
that.
for
I
like
didn't know.
10,
I did
over
not
10
know
years. I've
Georgia
never
had
been
that. I
mad.
did not know that.
Yeah, I've never met a Notre Dame fan since I've been through.
So they're
I'm
gonna
not
have
saying they don't exist, but I've never seen it.
are they gonna have Ryan Day address the crowd and everything like that?
I have no idea. All I know is the band is coming through this way.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is it strictly an Ohio State pep rally then? I take it.
Right now, but there's a lot of Irish fans here because their pep rally is right after us.
Both at the same building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
And I saw
is
the
that-
little Irish mascot.
Is that right
I
next
was-
to the? Is that right next to the stadium there, Melo?
Yeah, it's across the street. It's all the same complex. So you have your
Oh, okay.
second band stadium. Then right across you have State Farm Arena where the Hawks play. And then this is right next to where the Hawks play. It's a congressional center. So they have like big events here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, the internet connection is going to be bad down here. I mean, they don't want people live streaming and stuff.
Gotcha.
So it's like intentional. I'll just read what Silly Matt says.
Yeah, I mean, you got all that metal in there too. That's always sometimes that really screws with the connection too. I know when I go to basketball, my daughter's basketball games, I get bad internet connection. So it's
Yeah,
probably
and
even worse than me.
And I'm not even on Wi-Fi. So even though I don't think it would have helped much. But I'll be back on in 10 minutes when they come back out. But as you can see, I'm going to show you this is where they're going to come down from.
Nice.
So they got a nice little pathway cleared for them. So it should be good. A good little scene. I'm waiting for a Snoopy for them to perform that. You know, I love that song.
Make sure you behave yourself. We don't want you getting in any trouble.
Man, you see that guy right here? Hey, B, say what up. That's my top friend. I think I'm more than good.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not worried
Have
about
fun.
anything. Yeah. But I'll hop back on. You guys go ahead and keep doing what you're doing. When they start getting around here, I'm gonna hop back on the stage.
Cool. Hey, Lady Buck. Give a shout out to Lady Buck.
Yeah, so-
Awesome fan.
Yeah. Thanks, Ladybug, for that compliment. I.O. Tyler.
Tyler's a good dude too. He's always on, giving us support. Good friend of mine.
Mm.
Man, I just can't believe we're already
Yeah,
here,
so-
man. It seems like it's flew by, man.
I've been waiting for this I've been waiting for this for my lifetime. Like so when they won when Ohio State won the national title in 2002, I was born that year.
Nice.
So I can go back and see the game, but I never got a chance to
Right.
experience it for myself, at least from memory, because I was an infant.
Yeah.
But I do remember 2014, and I'm like, man. So they have like 2 national titles basically in my lifetime, and I hope they can win a third. Just one I can remember, the other one I just don't.
Well, in 2015 when they won
And I
it.
also saw some like Notre Dame fan. Yeah, I remember I was watching a Notre Dame fan talking about the outside corners basically because of remember the time that because now everybody starts to think that both Burke and David get burned by everybody, where the one time they get burned was by some really fast receivers that they were completely caught off by. I would
Exactly.
never, ever, ever understand why people just think that they are just bad. Oh, like they are vulnerable. It's like, guys, listen, y'all can make good catches and good throws against them. They can't always defend that. There are going to be times they lose. That happens. But we're talking about like as if they're going to get burnt. Like, name me the game since Oregon in the regular season that they got burnt. This past time they faced Oregon, they locked down Oregon's entire receiving room because they didn't get caught off guard this time. So my question is, why are we still thinking that these outside corners are just bleh when they're clearly not? It's just they got that one bad game, which every great corner has.
Exactly. Every corner has been burned. I mean, even Hall of Famers. Look, everybody has a bad game. The only thing that Davison, I would say, is susceptible to is pass interference because he grabs a lot. But other than that, I mean, those guys are 2 first-round picks. Come on, guys.
Because he can't help himself.
I mean, Burke, I'll give it to everybody. I was criticizing him, and I was on his case too, but he rebounded great from it, man. So I have all the faith in the world that Burke and Iggy is going to play a fantastic game, and they will lock down the receivers if they have receivers on Notre Dame, because really, I mean, they don't have even the.
They don't.
They couldn't even
dude, their number one receiver, like their all-time like receiving yards leader right now is literally doesn't have anywhere near as many receiving yards. Carnell doesn't even get. It's kind of funny. What makes you think your receivers can burn Denzel and David? Please tell me.
I was trying to be nice. I couldn't come up with a word. I didn't want to be rude, but I mean, they wouldn't even be second string on our team. I mean, come on. I mean, there's no comparison. I think maybe they might make a play or two, but you also have a very average quarterback at throwing the ball, at passing the ball. Great, all around guy who can run, but
I mean, I'm gonna say this: he's very good at passing outside of the numbers. He's very good at passing outside the numbers. I'll say that now. Outside the numbers is where he's good. But his receivers, I mean, still kind of just talk. It's no different than like Curtis Rourke, and I think we all saw how it went with Curtis Rourke.
And he was a much better passer.
And yeah, I know David is susceptible to get pass interference. I know that David is susceptible to getting like pass interference calls, but it's because it's not like he has to. He just can't help himself. He loves being physical.
Hey, that's great the first 5 yards, but after that, I mean, you got to also know how you got to figure out how the refs are going to call it too.
It's like you got to stop.
Yeah. I think what the frustrating part about it is he's in great position and he doesn't need to grab. It's like you got the guy covered. Why are you grabbing? You don't need to grab. You're in position. Turn around and make a play on the ball.
Which he absolutely can do. And he started doing that more, where he hasn't been called for pass interference up until the Texas game, which I could kind of understand that one to an extent because he did almost get beat. Because I will give Texas this, they did use that double move they got on David, because they don't always bite on those double moves, but there are times they do. There are times. They don't always, but there's times they do. And I think that's probably a smarter thing than getting burned. You rather get held than give up a touchdown.
Sure. Well, and the great thing about, I mean, if you get burnt, you can always grab the guy and pull him down because it's only a 15-yard penalty. It's not a spot foul like in the NFL. So I'd rather have him do that than give up a, guy.
Yeah, in the NFL, I think he'll learn. Yeah. Yeah, in the NFL, he'll learn not to do that because he understands like that's the different. Yeah, the spot fouls hurt, bro. Just turn around and make a play on the ball, which he does do. I just hope that again. With Ohio State, I'm not worried about the outside corners because everybody thinks they're just susceptible to everything. But you're like tending to forget that they haven't allowed a single passing touchdown, haven't gotten beat all year. The one time they did was against good receivers. Now, I don't think Oregon has NFL level receivers, mainly because their guys are just speed guys. Have been for years. They've never really had NFL level receivers in a long, long time. But it's like they're still speedy receivers. And again, they caught these guys off guard. So why are we thinking that, Denzel and David are just susceptible to... No, they go up against good receivers. They're going to get burned. It happens.
Taco
don't make it anything else.
Taco brings up a good point, too. He said a lot of the PIs are because the rush wasn't getting home early on. That first Oregon game, they got 0 pass rush. I mean... Gabriel could have made himself a sandwich
because they kept running cage rushing.
Yep, exactly.
Because they kept cage rushing, and it was the most predictable thing too. It's like, can we stop doing the cage rushing?
I mean, turn the boys loose, man. Let them eat. I mean, look at what happened when they did. And then they finally.
Well, they're finally doing that now.
Yep. Well, and they also rotated too. A lot of those guys are playing 70 snaps and you can't play the whole game and expect those guys to be fresh at the end of the game. So that's one thing that they've definitely done a better job at this, second season here in the postseason, is rotating your defensive line so they are fresh when it comes to fourth quarter.
I want them to do this all season. Like, that's the one thing I will say. Do it all season. Don't just wait for the playoffs. Do it all season. Get these guys rested by that point. Because a lot of these guys, now I can understand to an extent, mainly because with Caden Curry and Kenyatta, at first they were not great against the run. Mm-hmm. They weren't. They got better now. Like, they're way better against the run now than what they were before. So they've gotten better as time went on. But I can see why they didn't put a lot of these guys in, because it's like some of them were kind of like susceptible to the run at times. So it's like they got to get better and better and better. Once they did, I think you could trust them against these teams that like to run the ball.
Well, like you said, like when it comes time, I can see at the end when it's big moments, you go with the guys you trust. Totally understand that. But a lot of these guys need to get, not only for resting purposes, but to get these guys valuable in-game reps. I mean, especially for next year, because we're going to need these guys. We're graduating the whole defensive line, and every rep that these guys get is valuable for next season. And you never know when somebody's going to get hurt,
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Karan, no, they don't have.
Howard's graduating.
Howard doesn't have one more year of eligibility, and I would assume the quarterback next year will be doing the same.
Unless they bring in a transfer that we don't know about. So, I mean, I know there was a lot of talk about Hewers coming back, but that doesn't look like it's, it's just all talk and no.
Exactly for them to get.
They're going to have to bring in a transfer quarterback. They want 4 scholarship quarterbacks on the roster at all times. We only have 3 as of right now. But I don't think they're going to go for a big-time elite quarterback. Julius Sane is taking over this too.
Hey, I need to give a shout out to Mark P for keep up the good work, Sean. EG, Sean, is that a Kirk Barton jersey you're wearing? He's giving us a $50 holler. And yes, it is, my fellow.
What'd you say? I gotta take my trash for it. Oh.
It is a Kirk Barton jersey, my friend, that I had made.
A lot of OHIOs going around here. But the band's about to come.
You see anybody on the beat that you recognize down there?
Nah, they're not in here. I think they're staying over at the hotel.
Gotcha.
I know everybody's friend Doreen is down here somewhere. But
ain't no friend of mine.
The band's about to come though. That's why the music's not playing anymore. They're gonna be coming from over there.
Best damn land
in that little corner. Yeah. What else were you guys discussing? Don't let me stop your conversation.
I agree, Anthony. I really want to shut these Notre Dame fans up too. I mean, if you look, Notre Dame fans are just like Michigan fans. They're arrogant, cocky, and they live off the past. They'll get knocked down again. Trust me, after we put a whooping on them tomorrow night, you won't hear much from Notre Dame for a while. I mean, when you got a coach that can only count to 10 and
that's
not
the
11,
only thing about Notre Dame that's so irritating is their fans.
I mean, Melo, how did you enjoy engaging with your fans on different chats?
It was cool. They're going to find out the hard way. I already been talking trash to them at red lights while we were driving down here. I told them BTA and 4013. And the lady was like, oh, and I just started laughing at her.
What really? I'll tell you what irritates me, bro, is they think that they're going to throw 30 points up on this defense. I don't even know how they get. I don't even know how they get to 20. Honestly, I don't think they can get that.
Yeah, y'all see that screen?
How did they pass 14?
I don't think they get. I think they have trouble getting 14. I mean, if it's
Can you guys hear this?
It's breaking
That'd
up.
be blowing my mind. I'm like, y'all ain't got no receivers.
They're running a video, hype video.
I mean, besides like a scoop and score, maybe a special team touchdown. I mean, unless they get really short fields on turnovers. I mean, honestly.
That would be the only way I could see them getting more than that. But even then, I think the defense would hold its own, basically. And I'm not worried about special teams because I think Ohio State's been better at special teams lately, keeping stuff from happening. As a matter of fact, we actually have some block punts this year, some we haven't had in a minute.
Yeah. And we had a return, too. Don't forget about Downs' return for a touchdown.
I'm not too worried about special teams. I think they'll handle themselves.
I mean, Downs returned that one for a touchdown. We haven't had one in I don't know how many years.
10 years.
Hey, Melo, I'll give you $100 if you just go running on that field, man.
Hell no, I'm not getting talking about it. I'm just confused. Can't see a judge, it's a no. All right, you guys continue talking.
All right.
Might start getting louder here with some band.
Crown Dynamic. If you think the Buckeyes are only going to score 4 points, man, you've been hitting the chronic too hard, my friend.
Don't fall, Brady. Here I'm coming.
Troy V.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Dennis.
Dude, if the only way I can see that happening is if Ohio State's kicking themselves in the ass.
I mean, you would need multiple turnovers, multiple injuries, and Ryan Day to, lose his mind. And
yeah, as the band comes, let me know if you guys can hear it when they get closer.
Will do.
But they kind of know this is nice. They're on the way, but they're playing right now.
They getting close.
Kind of hear them.
Can you hear the background noise of all the people?
I can kind of.
Kind of muffling out.
Kind of.
Here it comes.
Here we go. There we go. Best damn band in the land, people. That's an awesome sight to see.
Yeah.
Anybody else getting goosebumps? Man, there's nothing like watching that band come on that field before the game. I mean, just so awesome. Such an awesome experience.
Yeah, and think about how much of an awesome experience it is for them, especially the seniors, because you get to play in the national title band with this band for one more time.
Exactly.
It's awesome. Great way to go out.
I mean, some of those kids, usually you get, just a bowl game, but these kids got,
Oh, Brutus!
Brutus.
Hey, Brutus! Let's go, Brutus! Yeah.
Who else has Brutus on their show, man? Come on. Melo, the man of the people, I tell you.
Man, I wish I could meet Brutus in person.
I know. Awesome sight there, Melo. Glad you're down there to share this with us, bro.
Yeah, this is fire.
Yeah.
They had something yesterday, but I didn't know otherwise it came out.
I know they had a big press conference for, all the media to talk to the team.
Yeah.
I saw some of the
I just saw
interviewing guys.
Yeah, I just saw the players, the coaches. I could see all of it for the most part. Actually, I shouldn't say all of it. I could see most of it, but not all of it.
Hey, guys, still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Luna's over here getting a crowd. I got all the cops in front of me, so like, I mean, this wasn't the best location for the rest of this. I'll probably stay live with you guys for another like 5 to 10 minutes.
Hey, Crime Dynamic, you want to sit here and talk about Ohio State hasn't been doing much. 7 times in my lifetime they've played for a national championship. 7 times, bro. Took you guys 70 years to get back to Natty, so I don't want to hear it.
6 times in my lifetime they've been doing it.
I mean, it's crazy. We've had, in my lifetime, 4 different coaches have played for a Natty. 4 different coaches. Show me another program that can say that. In 46 years, they've had 4 different coaches play for a Natty. 5 decades long we've contended. 5 decades straight we've been good. And
Oregon definitely can't say that. Like,
nope.
Look, they're not. Look, their history is not far off from Indiana or Purdue or Northwestern, because none of those teams have Heisman Trophy candidates or national championships. The only thing that separates Oregon from them is literally Marcus Mariota winning the Heisman. Had he not, they would have been in the same boat as them other 3 teams, which is sad.
I mean, 2 of your Heisman Trophy winners were from the state of Ohio, so that goes to show you what kind of football you got up in Michigan. Come on, Michigan high school football is garbage.
It is, and the one time, and think about it too. The one time they actually get some good players, none of them want to go there.
You had to pay someone $15 million.
I was thinking 20 million. I'm like, if I'm that kid, I'm finna milk that.
That's so awesome, Melo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, chat. I want to hear your prediction for the game tomorrow. Come on, fire away. I want to see what everybody's thinking. 24 hours before.
I said 42-10. I said 42-10. What was yours, Sean?
Mine was 42-7. I was going to say 35-10 there. I think between 42-7 or 35-10. That's where I'm going with.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I just say 42-10 just because, out of respect, really, because I do think they'll get like a touchdown here, that one touchdown plus a field goal. But I expect Ohio State to just come out guns blazing, looking to really just whoop on them.
Mr. Green says 48-8. Mr. Bucknuts 27-13. Trent CN 21-13. Melo's got 40-13. Cookie Monster 38-3. Like it. Raw Dog says 42-13. Mark P says 37-13. I think we're all thinking about the same thing. I think if they do get a touchdown there, TG, I think it's going to be a garbage time touchdown.
I think they'll get a field goal and then get like a garbage time touchdown. That's where I got the 10 points from, basically. They'll get a field goal, but then they'll get like 7 in like the garbage time. And I did listen to Eric when he talked about how we didn't think J.J. McCarthy could throw on us back in 22, but you also have to think that 22 defense was awful. It was better, significantly better than 21, but bad still by standards. And Michigan knew our place, so obviously they knew what they were doing.
That's it.
It's going to be a blowout.
All right. I'm starting to feel it now.
Vader 35-13. Chris
Quran, you wish.
Crown Dynamics, a Michigan fan. Anthony A, who's always Anthony Albert. I don't want to butcher your last name, bro, but you're always on here giving us support, and I see you on Scoop all the time. 35-10. I know Steely Matt. I know he big time Michigan lover. I know he's thinking Michigan's gonna win, aren't you, Steely? Yeah, we all know what AA stands for. It's not Ann Arbor. It's arrogant asses.
Let's see. Plus, while we're waiting on what's going on out here, I'm actually making food. I got stuff kind of flowing.
There we go. KC 38-17.
That's being too nice.
If Notre Dame, for God's sake and reason, pulls out the upset, I will come back on here. I will give them their props. I will stand in the paint, and I will apologize to them and say, hey, I'm wrong. But honestly, with all the injuries, I don't think they pull it out.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger differences between, I would say, that 2002 Ohio State team and the 2000 and the current Notre Dame team is that Ohio State team had an injury on the offensive line, but it was only one injury versus, on the offensive side of the ball. And they did have an injury on defense, but it wasn't a big injury. And that was the only thing. That team wasn't as beat up as this one. This Notre Dame team, I see more 2012 than 2002 Buckeyes.
I mean, do I think they're going to come out and play hard? Yes, I do. I think Marcus Freeman will have them play hard, and they play a type of football that we're used to called Choso ball. I just don't think that they'll be able to, with all the injuries they suffered, be able to keep up with the Buckeyes. I just don't think their defense will be able to get off the field. I don't think their offense will be able to sustain drives, and I think that defense is going to be so worn out by the time it gets to the fourth quarter. That's going to be like a track meet for us, and we're just going to keep running on them.
Pretty much. I mean, I always look at it as like, think about it. Because of your injuries, Ohio State is going to try to play tempo. I would bet my money they're going to try to play tempo to wear out that defense and make them run sideline to sideline. Because that's what Penn State did, and it worked like a charm. I think that's what Ohio State would do. And I know Notre Dame, because they could try to do that with ours, but our team has like team tempo. And they've been through it like with Tennessee and with Oregon, they tried it. Texas even tried it.
Well, we all know the game plan for them is to go be try to hold the ball, take time to take the clock, take time off the clock, keep the ball. But if you can't get first downs, you can't hold the ball. I mean, I just don't see them going to be able to get any first down, barely any first downs. I mean, we're going to make them one-dimensional. Riley Leonard's going to have to beat us with his arm. They'll have a spy on him so he can't run the quarterback draw. They're going to stack people in the box. And they're going to put the best defensive back. They're going to put their corners. I say the best in the nation. They're going to put them man-to-man on the outside, and they're just going to have the challenger receivers. I just don't think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. Honestly, I can see Ohio State playing zone, really, because I think Notre Dame likes man-to-man. Even though they're DBs, if they go up against legitimate, even if their receivers are going against legit DBs, I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State. But I do think Notre Dame struggles against zone a lot. Like when you play zone, they struggle like crazy. More than they do against man.
I think Knowles likes to mix it up a lot, though. He will confuse the crap out of him. And I think he will see if he gets pressure with his four down linemen. If they don't get pressure, which I think they will, but if they don't, they'll blitz people. And if not, he'll just drop all those guys back into coverage and let our front four go after Leonard all night.
Oh, yeah. I think Riley is going to like try to run around and get away, but I think Ohio State is going to put what they're going to do is just put a spy on him because they're not done.
I mean, whether it be Sonny or
I found Cody.
Cody.
I would love Cody because he's going to hit him. I know Sonny can too, but I'd rather Sonny cover the tight ends because that's what he's been great against tight ends. As much as I like Caleb doing it, I like Sonny doing it because it's like he's such a lengthy, just speed demon and a freaking physical dude. Where tight ends think they got a matchup against him, they really don't. You come to find out, bro, he ain't it, man. Don't try Sonny. I mean, ex-Texas tight end who got hit by Sonny. Ask him how that feel. That's what I just.
Crime Dynamic thinks.
So funny.
Crime Dynamic thinks Oregon will win the Natty next year, and it'll be a 3-year run for the Big Ten.
I agree with the 3-year run on the Big Ten because I don't know if Oregon will. That'll be my thing. I want to see them show me they can do it. Because every time they come close, they always fall flat on their face. And again, this is like when was the last national title? 2014, right? That's the only one they've competed for.
Yeah. I mean, they made it
so
the
like they got to be able to
times.
compete for more than that.
Well, and Dante Moore is a good quarterback prospect. So, I mean, he does have a lot of talent, but he didn't get much,
Well, let's see if they can develop him.
Yeah. That's going to be the question right there. You hit it right on the head there, TG. Can they develop a quarterback?
That would be the biggest thing because you lucked into Dylan Gabriel. You lucked into Dylan Gabriel. You lucked into Bo Nix. Like, you looked into some quarterbacks, man. You're not going to get on that stretch again. Like, with Ohio State, I'm not worried about the quarterback position. Yes, we have the one with Kyle McCord. But even I think we could have won the national title with Kyle McCord just because at least I know Ryan Day brought the best out of him to a point where it's like he may be not great, but he can do something to help us win. Kind of like a Craig Krenz in a way, except he's a better passer than Craig. Craig is a better athlete by a mile, but Kyle's a better passer. And I could live with us winning with Kyle more so. Because again, I trust Ryan Day's ability to get a quarterback in the right position to succeed. More so than I trust Dan Lanning because he's a defensive guy. So can you develop a quarterback? Can your offensive coordinator do it? Do you have the right coaches? That'd be my question.
I mean, because we know they're going to spend the money and they got good recruiting and they're going to bring the athletes in. But like you said, with the quarterback, can you develop him? I mean, they might be able to. We don't know this. I mean, until they prove they can do it, we won't know. I mean, this is their perfect chance to show it next year with Dante Moore, unless they bring in somebody else through the transfer portal. I mean, there is rumors that they offered.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably going to go to the portal.
I mean,
I'm not shocked. I can see them going to the portal.
I mean, rumor is that they offered Quinn Ewers a big bag to come to Oregon. So that's the rumor.
Yeah. Yeah. Ken, listen, I get it. McCord is trash. Trust me, I get it. He's the worst we've had in 15 years, but we still could have won the Natty with him, even last year, because there was no juggernaut for us to go against. So we could have literally beaten Alabama and Washington, especially because Washington ain't got no defense. And that Alabama team, I think, was the worst Nick Saban's had since in a long time, really.
It was his worst playoff team.
I could have won the Natty just because we wouldn't have needed Kyle.
I argue with the guy on X, and he said it was a stupid.
Honestly, no, I'm like talking about overall because that team was not playing well.
He said it was all on Saban that was a very talented team, that it had all these, composite rankings. I said rankings don't mean anything. I mean, Jalen Ballard was ranked higher than Marvin Harrison was, and we saw how that turned out. So just because someone's ranked high coming in into college doesn't mean nothing. It's about how you play. So that team would not have been.
Oh, trust me, Ken, I get it. It's a leadership.
So I mean, that Alabama team.
I get it with Kyle. It's leadership.
McCord was not a leader. He's not. I mean, if you look,
I get it. I get it. Trust me when I tell you this, and I'm sorry to cut you off so many times, Sean, but it's
it's okay.
It's like I can understand with Kyle that it's a leadership problem because I do see this in the chat. I get it. He's not a great leader. He never was a leader. But I still think we could have won with him just because of Ryan Day leading that team. And more importantly, the players, it's not like, I'm going to say this, Kyle was a likable guy. Like, I know how much we all hate him, But really, when you talk to the players, Kyle wasn't really disliked. He was actually actually a nice guy. It's his father that was a total douchebag. Not Kyle. His father is the reason why he acts the way he does. If his father wasn't being this big of a douche, I think Kyle might have had a good career. But because his father is so involved with him, it's like, come on, man, you're not really doing your kid any favors. You're not doing him any service. Like, at some point, you got to get out of your kid's life and let him figure it out on his own. You can help him, but don't get too involved here.
I mean, they tried to play hardball with Ryan Day. They came in his office, demanded more money, and wanted a guaranteed starting spot. And if you think you're
like Ryan Day was ever going to do that,
if you think you're the best quarterback on the team, then come back and fight for your job. I mean, that just shows what kind of competitor he is. If you really think you're that good and you deserve more money, and you think you're the best quarterback on the team, then you'd have no issue coming back there, no matter who they brought in, and keeping your job. But obviously,
again, that's his daddy, though.
Yeah. I mean,
that's his daddy, because that's not Kyle. That's his daddy, because he's constantly in his ear.
I mean, if you look last year, every time they would show Kyle McCord on the sideline, he was always sitting by himself. He was never riling his teams up. He was never going and talking to his teammates. He was always kind of just sitting there with like a, kind of, I don't want to say he was pouting, but he was just always by himself. I mean, you see guys like Will Howard, or if you saw Craig Krenzel or Justin Fields, they're always, either looking at the tablet or the playbook.
CK.
Or they're sitting there talking to their teammates. They're getting everybody riled up. They're talking to everybody. You didn't see that. It just seemed like Kyle was a loner.
That's why I feel bad for Kyle. Because again, I don't think that's what he wanted to be. But like I said, his dad is what force-fed him this thing, because it's like, dude, you're not helping your kid. Again, Kyle is liked by everybody. He's friends with everybody here. It's just that his dad is such a bad role model. If Kyle had a better role model of a father, he probably would be a better person, better quarterback. Maybe could have grown as a leader too. I don't know. But that's what happens when you have bad parents in your life.
And you know what? Some people just aren't leaders. Some people just do not have that trait about them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people are just good teammates and, don't speak up, don't lead. I mean, some people lead by example. Some guys are rah-rah guys, and some guys are just part of the team. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you're the quarterback of the Ohio State Buckeyes, you should be the leader of that offense and a leader of the team. And he was not. He wasn't.
I think he could have been just a great teammate. But it's like, again, I don't know if he ever would have been a good leader, but I do know he would have been a good teammate. He would have at least been a good teammate. Again, his daddy is the reason why he is what he is. And when you have those type of people in your life, it's what's going to happen. Like we just talked about it with Jordan Davidson. He wants to be a Buckeye, but his parents are making him go to Oregon for money when that's not what he wants. He doesn't care for it. He wants to be a Buckeye. He did. But his parents did not care for it.
Well, like you and I were talking earlier, some of these kids, their parents are auctioning them off like they're, a piece of meat to see, highest bidder, they'll hold an auction, and whoever the highest bidder is, that's where they go. I mean,
yeah, I understand if your family is struggling, that I can understand. But if you're not, why are you auctioning your kid off for more money? You just don't care about your kid or their future. Because think about it, for Jordan, look at it from the education side for Jordan. He came here, he could have been developed into a good running back. I think he could have had a great career, outside of football. I don't know if he's going to get that at Oregon, because I've actually seen their APR score is the lowest in the Big Ten by far. It's sad. But he could have had a good future. But you chose to ruin that for him.
I mean, one thing Urban Meyer did a great job of that he doesn't get enough credit for is a lot of these kids would get internships during the summer with all these, Fortune 500 companies. A lot of these kids are set up when they graduate, whether they go to the pros or not. They get internships and really good job offers when they finish their career at Ohio State. So not only do you develop as a person, but, get a chance to play for a Natty. And if you're not good enough to go to the pros, you get a really good job when you leave Ohio State. So a lot of these kids are set up for, not only to play football at D1, but a great, life and, a good career afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Ryan Day's doing currently. He's keeping that up. If anything, he's using his platform and allowing the Buckeye players to use their platform to do great things. And I like that. That's what I love about Ohio State. Because I'm like, it's one of the very few schools that really don't got all the dirt baggage and scandals that go on. Now, I understand there's been some questionable ones, like the Zach Smith one, which turned out to be completely false, that his ex-wife was lying on him. Yep. And obviously, we all know the tattoo thing didn't really mean a thing. And I know Woody Hayes, that's the only bad scandal you could say. And I would assume he thought that Clemson player was one of his, but he just, again, it's something he regrets to this day. And like I said, I get that, but it's like Ohio State really doesn't have any legitimate scandals, no legitimate real issues. It's just it's either something that isn't a big deal that gets turned into a big deal because it's Ohio State, or it's somebody lying on either the coach or the players. Like, remember there were like 2 Buckeye players that got kicked out of school because a woman lied on them for assaulting her. So like that's the only thing, is like you just have these people getting lied on. That's it. There's nothing like that, especially because Ohio State would never go for it.
No, they don't put up with it. They have a higher standard.
They're not like Michigan, where you have all this type of stuff with sexual harassment and assault, or put up with any of that nonsense whatsoever.
Well, what's amazing with Michigan is it goes through all through their sports programs. This is not one sports program. It's
pretty much,
how Ward Manuel still has a job up there after everything that he's covered up and been accused of and found guilty. I mean, how does that guy survive? I mean, honestly, keep him in there, guys. Just keep him there, guys.
Oh, please. Yeah. Please, because us Ohio State, we love to see y'all go down. Because here's the thing with the team up north, and I know we hate talking about them, but it's like the thing is they need Ohio State to stay relevant. We don't need them, but they need us. They need this rivalry to stay relevant. Because when people talk about, well, the rivalry game doesn't matter, well, it matters because we make it matter. Like, let's be real. The playoffs just added on something to it where I don't think we're ever going to have that again unless we have like 2 losses already in the season or Michigan somehow is good. Which that probably take like 2 centuries for that to happen. So no, with Michigan, they just have so much scandalistic scumbag criminal behavior that goes on over there, and they put up with it. It's like, how are y'all bragging about your program when you got all this? I mean, the pedophiles you've had on your staff, like, really? The hacking, all that, like, you breaking federal laws. You got criminals on your staff. Remember Juwan Howard punched the coach in the face? Like, come on, man. How are you putting up with that? Ohio State would have never.
His kid tried to attack the strength coach. I mean, come on.
So did his dad. It is like, how you putting up with that?
I mean, apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? I mean, come on.
Yeah, like Odyssey said right here. Like Odyssey said, the Cheaters Up North president is such a clown.
No, I just want to remind all these Michigan fans who are Lions fans, guys, remember that playoff loss yesterday, that didn't mean anything because you guys beat your rivals during the regular season. So that playoff, the playoffs don't mean nothing. That playoff loss yesterday to the Commanders, that means 0 because you guys still beat your rivals in the regular season, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, Super Bowls don't matter. Yeah, Super Bowls don't matter, man.
Champions don't matter. It doesn't matter as long as you beat your rival. None of that matters, guys. So, just remember that, guys. Doesn't matter according to your fan base. So you guys should not be mad at the Lions for losing that playoff game because you guys beat your rivals during the regular season. Well, TC, that's been an hour, my friend.
Yeah.
Get ready to wrap this up.
By the way, one person, let me see, where is this at? It was somebody who said the Michigan team last year was a juggernaut like this team. No, they're not, for starters. They could have been if it wasn't for the cheating, but let's be realistic. The cheating had a lot to do with why they were good.
They had a great...
this team... think about it. They don't have that. They have a great defense. Don't get it twisted. But, let's be honest about something. If you don't know the plays, how good is your defense really? Because with this team, you can't say anything like that. That team, you can. Because would they even be together if the cheating scandal didn't take place?
I mean, if you look, we have a balanced team this year. Good offense, good defense, passing game, running game. Michigan had a great defense last year. They could run the ball. The receivers weren't that great. They had a serviceable quarterback. They had a great tight end. They could make a few plays in the passing game when they needed to, and they could run the ball. It wasn't a juggernaut team that was going to blow out everybody 70-0. I mean, they weren't a juggernaut.
And this team wasn't even doing it like that. This team could do it, and they weren't doing it all season. They waited to the playoffs and they started blowing people out. And then the one time they actually do get into like a phone booth type fight, they actually win it. And normally they lose these types. And it's not like they lose it embarrassingly. They just lose by like a point or two, where it's like, and again, I think the offensive line this year could have been very, very dominant had it not been for the injuries.
I mean,
had not been for the injuries, they would have been a very dominant offensive line.
If you look at Ryan Day, he's never been embarrassed in a playoff game. Every playoff loss he's had has been close. He's never been embarrassed. His teams have played well I know they've lost some of them, but they've always, kept it competitive. And he now has more. Yep. He has more playoff wins than Jim Harbaugh does in his career. Jim Harbaugh won 2 playoff games and remember the only 2 bowl games he won last year in his career as a head coach at Michigan. All those years coaching, and you win twice. So give me a break. When people want to pile on Ryan Day, he has a better postseason career, record against Harbaugh. And plus, he's been to a Natty not once, but twice. He lost to a better team the first time. This time he's going to win one. So he'll have his main Natty. Have his many championships. And let's wait on Harbaugh to see, how long he holds on to that title and if he holds on to it.
He's not holding on to it. They're stripping it. The CFP committee, like I said, they're standing right by the NCAA. Like, yeah, we're taking that title away from you. You don't deserve it. You don't.
Well, everybody on here, I hope you guys join us back at 5:00 because we have a special guest tonight. We have Nick and Joey Bosa's mom, Cheryl, who's going to join us tonight. I hope everybody has a great day. TG, no, sorry, not TC, but GG. Got any last things that you'd like to say to Buckeye Nation and our great fans?
Oh, yeah. The last thing I want to say is basically Buckeyes bring home the Natty. I will be waiting for it. Oh, here comes my call.
Hey, about to go meet Chris Carter. I'm serious about to get him to Buckeye.
Who are you about to meet?
Okay. Chris Carter.
Chris Carter.
I guess we'll hang out for a minute here.
Chris Carter. Connecting teams, they pictures, photos. Remember the special moment that you see in one of the greatest 7 hands in all of football, right before you up close and personal here today. Shaking those, saying hi to the fans. College football. Can you see them? For this championship.
Yeah, I can see them.
From the ATL. We got a big one coming your way. Thank you for joining us right here at AT&T.
That's awesome.
Tomorrow, we're going to join my Super champ. Greatest, you drink the kind of most whatever day. Good morning. We'll be here for the final guest tomorrow. You enjoy yourself. All right, stop me to the AT&T. I'm going to hop out on stage when I get there.
Yeah. Okay, so we can end the live stream. But yeah, no, to also piggyback off that, I can't wait for this season. I definitely can't wait for the all season, which is something I never thought I would say. But because there's gonna be so much news out there, I'm gonna be loving it. So Buckeyes win the Natty. I will be watching the parade from pretty much my house. I wish I could go, but I'm gonna be watching it from here in Chicago. Go Bucks. Let's go win this thing.
Guys, hope I see you guys. We hope that you guys are able to make it back later for the 5:00 show. If not, have a great night tomorrow. Enjoy it. Savor it. Because it's going to be a long off season, but guess what? We will be national champions. So from Thank you for tuning in and supporting us. Everybody that super chatted, thank you. Everybody that watched, thank you. We will see you guys later. OH. Can I get an
IO.
IO. Yeah, there's a delay there. That's okay. Everybody have a good night.
Yeah.
Peace out.